Hey, you guys, welcome to the Team 360 call. Today is March 21st. I can't believe it, first day of spring. And we're going to be talking about the Success Club cruise. What was announced there, what my takeaways and my experience were, and then Aubrey's also going to be sharing hers as well. So I'm gonna talk about, there were two panels. So on this cruise, there were only two things where it was like a actual coaching event. One was the celebrity trainers panel, and they shared, and I'll be sharing on that, and Aubrey's going to share on the top 10 coaches panel. They got up and shared a bunch of just insights and tidbits too. So, but to start with, I'm not going to go through all of the announcements because you guys should be able to find them in the coach news and in the FAQs, but I wanted to touch on a few of them. First, how many of you guys like country music? I do. I'm really, really excited. So I really appreciated, as Carl announced Country Heat with Autumn, he first talked about how size was kind of the insanity of dance. They wanted it to be truly, truly challenging. And I know Justin busted it out and showed his moves, but me personally, it was a little much for me. I struggled. And so this one, they are truly saying anybody can do. And it truly is a beginner's program, simple moves. And it was so cool because Autumn talked about how she actually went to college for dance. And as she was in school, her confidence got rocked. And she really didn't feel like she could teach or use that dance anymore. And so when Carl came to her with this project, it's taken her, it was 9 months, maybe closer to a year, to actually complete this. She had to keep going back to him and saying, I need more time. And what she tried to do is she kept going back and saying, Carl, I can't do this. Give this to someone else. And he wouldn't do it. He said, Autumn, this is your program. This is your project. And you can do this. Keep trying. And so what that did, because he had that belief in her, she did push through. She did make it happen. She's very excited about the program. And she regained her self-confidence in that, which I just think is so cool. It shows not only, somebody who we all look at as like so successful and amazing and has it all together. And she struggles with confidence too, you guys. She struggles with a lot of stuff, and she's real, she's human. And yet that belief, Carl believing in her, did so much. And I think that shows what our belief in our challengers is the same thing. Sometimes all people need is for somebody to believe in them. Autumn wasn't totally sure of the numbers, but the test group within the office, there's also a test group going on in Dallas. There was a guy who actually lost 23 pounds in the 30-day program, and a woman who lost 18 pounds in the 30 days. It does have fixed nutrition, so all the containers, all that stuff, no or low impact. 6 days a week, they are all under 30 minutes. She said most of them were closer to 26-minute workouts, and 6 days a week for 30 days. So that's this next program. It will be coming out at Summit. So I cannot wait. I'm sure we'll be doing live workouts at Summit, and I'm hoping all of you are registered on the wait list going, like you have to be at Summit. We'll be doing live workouts there. It'll get announced and released there. And I fully plan on, after Summit, I'm going to be doing this program. And I'm really excited. So that's that one. Then for those of us oldies, but goodies, a lot of us know the P90X results in recovery formula. And I know when I started and I was doing Insanity and P90X, there were days that's the only reason I worked out, because I knew I got this amazing orange smoothie if I completed my workout. And now, since they've come out with Recover and they have it in chocolate, people are like, it's a better product, but we miss the orange flavor. We want that creamsicle. So they have announced, they have created it. It's being released May 11th in the US. And so you'll want to look that up. That's FAQ 2419 to get more details. You can have it on HD and all of that stuff, but I'm super, super excited about it. I do love the chocolate Recover, but if it's like results of recovery, that stuff was the bomb. And then 22 Hardcore. I know it's out. How many of you guys are doing it? Anyone? Aubrey, I know you are. Are you the only person? Oh, nope. There we go. We've got a couple. Doing it live with Tony, it was just incredible. I just have to say that. Like, he always is. He's just amazing. He's so passionate about it. He was actually walking around the ship, interacting with us, sharing with us, talking about it. Not only did he lead a live workout each morning, so we had, depending on if we were in port or at sea each day, we had up to 4 workouts a day. So at 6 a.m. we would start our workouts. They had a full Shakeology bar for us, totally free, where they would have 2 flavors of Shakeology every day, as many cups of it as you wanted. I might have had up to 3 a day. But it was just post-workout. It wasn't all day. And then, so he would be there leading the workouts. And then I'm on a running program right now. I would be going down to, good job, Amanda. You just had to make sure you got it in. I would be going down to the gym to get my runs in. And Tony was down there doing small workouts, or where there was like 20, 30 of us. And he would actually be leading us down there and just interacting and hanging out and being Tony. So I just have to say, like, that was incredible. He was so real, so personable, true Tony fashion. But he's passionate about this program. I can't wait to do it. I'm starting it May 1st. But it's, from the workouts I did live, it's brutal. And seeing the results, the guys that were helping lead it, they had great results. It was incredible. So, and that said, I think Carl, so for this month, every challenge pack sold, there's, don't quote me, $5 or $10 given to a charity. And we've raised like $200,000 so far for this charity, helping veterans transition out of service back into civilian life. And I love that. I love that we're always giving to things like that. So some of the other things on the cruise that I just wanted to share, as far as how Beachbody took care of us. I've been to Summit twice, and so I kind of went in with that mindset. It was, we have all these scheduled events and all this going on, and it's very work oriented. And that's not what this was, you guys. Beachbody truly, their goal on this trip was to spoil us rotten, to treat us and to truly thank us for what we did. There were only 2 times that you could even attend a learning coach type thing, and that was the celebrity panel and the top 10 panel. Otherwise, we were on our own. Like, they chartered the biggest boat in the ocean. It was 17 stories or decks or whatever you want to call them. And we had run of the whole thing. So normally the areas that would be VIP, the shows that you would have to pay for and schedule, they were free to us. We got to go to all of that. There were a couple of restaurants that cost a little bit more that you had to actually pay for. You had to pay for a drink package, but otherwise,
the room service was free too. Sorry, I just had to say that because that was freaking awesome. Yeah.
It was part of the food. Like, it's true. The room service was free. They went all out. I did have to pay for my Ben and Jerry's, but that was, maybe that was to deter me from it. It didn't work. Thanks, Carl. Maybe next time just close the Ben and Jerry's shop. It would be helpful. But whatever. I was trying to think of what else when we were on the boat. Have any of you guys been on a cruise? Have any of you? Okay, so literally, I'd never been on one before. And I walked into this ship, and when you first walk in, you can't even tell you're on a ship. It was like I was in this huge mall. And I'm looking around, and there's restaurants everywhere, and there's shops, there's Coach, there's Kate Spade, there's Tiffany & Company, there's normal shops too. And you would go up to anything, and you could just get whatever you wanted. Now, not from the shops, obviously you have to buy that stuff, but for the food and everything else. Carl also covered the tips for everybody on that boat. So it was, somebody threw up the numbers. I don't know exactly if they're correct, but it was another group. It was something like $300,000 worth of tips that Beachbody covered for us. So we didn't have to do. Granted, if you want to go above and beyond, we were able to do that. But, you know, and then there was the people who had earned the $1,000 or the $500 credit. And they could use that for anything from food to shopping to the excursions. You know, 2 of the days we were at sea, but 2 of the days we were in Jamaica or in the Bahamas and getting to do these amazing excursions. And Beachbody basically rewarded all of the coaches that had earned that. And those were free to everybody. So I can't tell you how many people that I was watching had their kids there or had just their spouse. And this was so special to them. This wasn't something like Summit where you bring your spouse and, you know, they're being dragged along and they're not wanting to be there and they're rolling their eyes and wondering when they can go get food or do their own thing. They wouldn't have even known this was a Beachbody event. Like, other than every morning, those of us crazies were up top and doing our workouts. This was a cruise, and we were treated like royalty. Like, it was amazing. Beachbody went all out. There was actually a couple on an excursion that I was on that they've been married for, I believe it was 9 years now. They have 2 kids, and they have never been able to afford to take a tropical vacation. They're like, you know, we camp or we do those type of things, but whether we were newlyweds or whether, you know, now with the kids, we just can't afford to do that. And they made the decision not to bring the kids. And this was like their honeymoon 9 years later. They were getting to do this. And I just thought that was incredible. Like, because this gal had helped people, her and her husband were able to come enjoy this incredible cruise, and she had earned the $500 credit. So that's how they were able to afford the excursion and extra food and just all kinds of things. So that was really, really neat. And that was kind of as far as my experience about, you know, just what the cruise ship was, what was going on. Aubrey, if you want to share yours and your top 10 panel, and then I will get back into the celebrity panel.
All righty, I will do that. Hi guys. So I have to say I had the very similar experience as Sarah. Like, I was expecting it to be a lot more like Summit on a boat, and I was a little nervous about being trapped on a boat with 6,000 people, and it really was like, it was awesome. It was like being I don't know if you guys ever went to the MGM or something. It was like that. Like, it was just huge. It was like its own city, and we did have like the place to be able to go and be by ourselves and have that quiet time. And the workouts were awesome. Like, up on the deck when the sunrise is coming up, it was an amazing experience. So I am very, very grateful that I was able to get that. So I am going to share about the top 10 panel. I felt like this was really, really useful training because it seemed like a much more intimate setting, with those top 10 trainers. And, then even when we have had them like teaching us different workshops and stuff at Summit, and, they had some really good, pieces that I wrote down, like literally a whole page of notes. And so I'll kind of go through and tell what the top takeaways for me were. So I wrote them kind of according to like who was talking. I will be 100% honest. I didn't know every single one of the top 10 trainers, but they were just like mind blowing. And that's because they're like new. They just, started becoming top 10, and they've done that in the last like couple of years in their business. So it's pretty awesome. So Melanie Mitro, the number one thing that she talked about that I thought really stood out to me was that our business starts with ourselves. It starts with us individually and what we're doing and practicing what we preach. Like, somebody had said to me, well, I really want my team to like do some more, and they're not doing anything. And they had just said how they weren't like doing a lot of invites and being consistent with their business. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's like I mean, not like I'm preaching at anybody by any means, but that's exactly why, you know, we're where we are. It's 100% what we do and what we're sharing with people. Um, and not only is she doing what she preaches, she's always sharing it with her team and saying, hey, I did this many invites, I did this. And to let them see what they're supposed to be doing. Because when you're first starting in this business, you don't really know which way to go. It's just, for me anyway, it was very vague. And so it's really great to be able to show them like steps, I think. Bonnie Engel said to keep it very simple, which we've kind of been hearing a lot lately, which I think is awesome, because every time I start seeing somebody make it more complicated, I'm like, it's the 3 vital behaviors and now the 4 vital behaviors, you know? So the other thing that she had mentioned was raising her standards. She's like, you know, I used to just aim for that SC5. And then I was like, why am I aiming for SC5? Should be aiming for SC20, you know? And then you'll, with that higher, like we're aiming for 5. Oh, and the other thing I really liked that she said was that the first year sucks. Like, you just get through it. And I was like, I mean, that's real. That's honest, right? Melissa McAllister talked about how in her challenge group, those 30 days are her 100% focus, and she is focused on doing nothing other than getting those people results. And then what she'll do is actually let the group continue, but focus on a new group, which I thought was really interesting, because I think we've always wondered how to like work out, like, do you let people keep going in the challenge group, or do you create a separate challenge group or whatever? So I thought that was an interesting idea. Let's see, Lindsay Matway. So she talked about making sure that you are picking who you want to be on your team, and not just like being like, yeah, you want to do Beachbody, okay, let's do this, and not being particular about who she's going to be able to connect with. And another thing that she said that I thought was very interesting was that you teach people how to treat you. And you set the standard for how you are going to have people treat you. So I think that that's just good advice in life in general, for real. Okay. Amy Silverman, they termed her the straight shooter, which I think was very appropriate. She has this 3-foot rule where she would make herself, because she's kind of an introverted extrovert. Isn't that like the right term, Sarah? Like where you're, or extroverted introvert?
Outgoing introvert.
That's it. Okay. So, so she said she would have to make herself talk to people, which I can totally relate to. So she would make herself talk. If somebody was within 3 feet of her, she would make herself start a conversation with them. And it didn't always have to lead to Beachbody or whatever, but just to like get over that, that fear for herself. Another thing that she said was to stop thinking, which I thought was really funny, because she was like, the biggest time waster in the world is people just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking about things. She's like, just do it. Just do what needs to be done. And now we're getting, so Alyssa and Anita, they were talking about the actual number of invites that they send per day, and I don't know which one it was. Alyssa, I think. She says she sends like 30 a day, and that she does that consistently. And I liked hearing that, because it kind of gave me an idea of, okay, that's what it takes for a top 10 coach. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that seems within reach. Like, more in reach than what I thought it was. So anyway, I thought that was really cool. And the other thing that they really focused was 80% of their time is on that phase 1 of their business. It's recruiting, and it's getting people the results with the products and running their challenge groups and everything. It's not, and only 20% of their time is focused on their team. So that they don't go into that manager mode. Let's see. Sorry, I'm reading my notes here real quick. And then Raina Odell, she also kind of reemphasized that staying in phase one of your business. They all actually really emphasized staying in that phase one of your business, and to not let the momentum die, aka be consistent. So at the end, they asked them each to give what was their non-negotiable in their business. And so the things that they mentioned were, and I don't know who said what here, but they talked about being authentic, treating their business like a business, because she was talking about the shiny thing, like being in a constant state of growth, having a plan, believing in yourself and knowing your story and sharing it, showing up every single day. And I think this was Melanie Mitro. She said to be proud to be a Beachbody coach. Like, I think sometimes we're so worried about what other people will think, and once you can let go of that and really be like, I used to think when I first started, I was like, I'm not doing this MLM thing. Like, this is crazy. This is total pyramid scheme. Like, I did the whole thing. And even when I first started, like, somebody asked me, they were like, was it one of those pyramid things? And I was like, yeah, kind of. And now I understand it so much better. I'm so much more proud to be like, I am a Beachbody coach and I help people change their life. And it is freaking awesome. So be proud. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. Just to reiterate, can you, for anybody who's new, share what phase one means?
Oh, so that's that 80% I'm focusing on your business. So it's your 3 vital behaviors. It's inviting, and it's doing your workouts, and it is personal development. Like, that is the majority of their time. So they're not, doing a few invites in the morning and then spending 80% of their time like developing new program or new trainings and websites and all this other stuff. Like, they're spending the majority of their time starting those conversations and building those relationships, and they don't get out of that phase. That is what they keep themselves in.
Exactly. And I know I can speak from experience. I've been so guilty of that, of going into that manager mode and going into, okay, I have a team. Now, how do I run this team? And the truth is, you don't need to do that. You have to just focus on connecting and on being real and building those relationships. And that really leads into the celebrity trainer panel. So in the panel, one of the things that stood out to me, Jericho actually shared that if they were asked, what are the things that help you truly connect with your clientele, with your customers? Because these are trainers who have worked one-on-one with so many people. I mean, this is their career they've been doing for years. And they're the top trainers. These are very successful trainers. And Jericho's comment was building a relationship, getting to know them. And I think that's so important because so often, I know for me, I can jump into, okay, I threw them in a challenge group, that's what they get, and there they go. Well, I need to be asking them how they are, and I need to be in that challenge group engaging and, messaging people one of the things I'm really excited about with the new Challenge Tracker app, I've been using it, I've got a group going, I'm loving it, and I can see when someone last logged in. So when somebody doesn't log in for 48 hours or so, unlike in Facebook where I have no clue, I'm like, well, I don't know, did they see this? Did they not? What's going on? unless I send them a message. This way I can see when they last logged in, and I can shoot them a message that way. They have my phone number, they have my email, they have all those things, or they can just message back through that app, so that they can connect with me. They can reach out. As a coach, I don't feel my job is to track everyone down. If somebody, goes missing and isn't going to be responding to me, I've sent a couple messages and they won't reply, I don't need to go knock on their door. Like, I'm not going to lose sleep over this, but at the same time, I want them to know that I care, and I want them to know that I am keeping tabs. And when they are ready to reconnect, and when they will reach out to me or respond to me, I'm here for them. So I think that's really, really important, building those relationships and building that trust. And that often starts way before anyone buys a challenge pack. That's when you're simply sending them the hey girl message, or forming them, and not forming with the intent, I need SC5, so I gotta get these points, but forming because I want to get to know these people. It goes back to Lindsay Matway talking about, she wants to connect with those people she wants to work with. Because if you're forming and you're working on building these relationships with people that you wouldn't really want to be friends with, then you know what, you guys, this business sucks. It's no fun. And so the key is to really pay attention to who it is you're reaching out to, so that this is enjoyable, that you like connecting with these people, and they're going to enjoy connecting with you more. One of the other things actually that I really loved was Sagi is, I know on people comment some of his videos, he can come across, he's kind of a meathead dude. He has a language barrier, but he talks so much about a positive mindset, about really having to believe and to work on that gratitude and work on positive thinking before your body is going to change and before your life is going to change. Like, that's so key. I went through a long period where, man, I pushed play every day, but I wasn't doing anything positive, and I didn't have a positive mindset. And, I was angry at the program because I didn't get the results that I wanted. Well, there were two issues there. One was my mindset, and the other is my nutrition. Like, I'm just going to be upfront. And Autumn shared that in the Hammer and Chisel, the Master Chisel group that was run on Facebook, there were about 70,000 people in that group in December and January, or January, February, whatever it was. As it wrapped up, there were a lot of people complaining about a lack of results, or stating, I didn't get the results I want. I think I need to do round 2 and actually do the nutrition. What? You got to be kidding. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm guilty too, because I was going through some nutritional issues and having to deal with some things. But you guys, if nutrition is 75 to 80% of this program, of our success, and yet then all we do is push play, well, I don't know. At work, if I show up and only do 20-25% of my job, I don't get results, and my boss notices. So, you just have to consider that. And that doesn't mean, I think it was Joel talking about realism. And it doesn't mean that we're so rigid that, like, oh my gosh, I never eat anything off of that fixed list, and it's always in a container, and I never eat out, and I never enjoy. That's not the case at all. But it's being true with yourself. Like, you can log your food, and you can forget to write down some of the things you eat, but your body knows. Your body keeps an accurate tally of the things that we take in. And whether the portions are off, or they're things that don't sit in our body, and we are individuals, and sometimes there's things that one person can have that another can't. Autumn was talking to this because she's going through some health issues. We have to be willing to be flexible with our methods, but not flexible with our goals. And so really honoring our body with that. Joel was answering the question and talking about the realism, and his way of connecting was being realistic. Like, and this is again where I struggle. I put out there my successes. I put out there what I do right, but it's not very often that I share when I screw up, or when I'm struggling, or frankly, how hard it is daily for my nutrition. I'm on day 1 of the 3-day refresh. If you want an honest answer, I'm not a nice person today. Like, I'm not. And this is brutal for me because I struggle with food in a huge, huge way. The results that I haven't gotten are because of my nutrition and because I haven't been honest about it. I've made a lot of excuses. Back to the Chisel group, one of the things Carl said about that group that just blew me away. So there are about 70,000 people in this Facebook group, and they offered money, like cash prizes. They offered performance pack prizes. They offered t-shirts for free to everyone. And Carl was like promoting, like, send in your results, get your free t-shirt, da-da-da. Like, he was blasting this everywhere. And I guess the marketing part of Beachbody was like, whoa, dude, like, slow down. This is going to be expensive. Well, you're offering so much. And he's like, no, I'm not. And they're like, what do you mean? He's like, people won't do it. They're lazy. There were 3,500 people out of 70,000 that submitted their results. And how many coaches, I'm so guilty of this too, how many of us do these programs and never submit our before and afters and get that free t-shirt? Never have that chance to be eligible for the prizes. And Amanda can talk firsthand of the cash prizes that were available. Like, why would we not do that? And I don't know the answer. I don't know if it's belief. I don't know if we just get busy and forget. I don't know if it's discouragement over our results. But I think, again, it goes back to Aubrey was sharing, leading by example. I can't expect my challengers to be submitting that stuff no matter how much I preach it if I'm not. And so Carl is running another group for summer. It's called Summer Strong. And sorry, I've got the details right here looking for it. I believe it's starting April 4th. I might be wrong on that. But anyway, the programs, so Brazil Butt Lift is going to have 4 new workouts added to On Demand. So that's one of the programs. 22 Hardcore, the Fix Extreme. Not sure what else. There's a couple other programs. I think Size was one of them. That you can be doing, being part of this group. If you go to Carl's page, all the details are there. You submit your before photos and you submit your after photos. No matter what, you get a t-shirt. You have a chance of $30,000 in prizes, in cash prizes, $5,000 to the top woman and top man with the biggest transformation story, which doesn't have to be pounds lost. It's a story, and it's your story. And then for the first 2,000 people to submit their results, every one of those people will get a free sample pack of the performance line. So that's going to include the Orange Recovery. For free. You're eligible for cash. You get a free t-shirt that's marketing, because we're all coaches and we want to do our wear and share. And you get a free performance sampler pack. Not to mention, copy and paste that into the Beachbody Challenge. And again, you're eligible for the Beachbody Challenge. You get that free t-shirt for the program. You get more cash eligibility. Like, there's so many opportunities, you guys, that we're just not taking advantage of. One of the other things that I thought was really interesting in the top 10 panel, they were all talking about being real. And they were talking about, not having to be perfect, but yet what were their daily non-negotiable items? Kind of like they asked the top 10 coaches, but these are the trainers. What do you guys do every day to have success? Not one of them drinks, and every one of them talked about the performance line and eating clean. And I just thought that was incredible. It's not to bash drinking. That's not what I'm saying at all. But the way they treat and take care of their bodies, it's their top priority. And I just think that's, it shows in how they look. And they're saying, like Joel was talking about the meal that they had the night before, and the cruise, they have to provide food for 6,000 people plus 2,000 employees, like, a week's worth of food all packed on this boat. It was good food, but there was a good amount of sodium in it. There was a lot of processed stuff. Like, I'm just going to be honest. And then they probably had nicer food for, this dinner they had with Carl, but they were talking about the sodium. They all enjoyed it. They all loved it. but this was a treat to them, and it's not something they do very often. And they really made that first. They all talked about the performance line and the drastic changes they see in that. So you guys, if you have a customer who can't drink Shakeology or is struggling with results, think about offering the performance line on HD as the challenge pack that way, because that's a big deal. I was struggling with facing being really, really, really sore, and I took the recharge one night, and I wasn't sore when I woke up. I love the Recover drink. I drink that most days. I'm currently not able to because it's not on the refresh, but I wish. So that was just really incredible for me to hear, like, how truly dedicated they are to their bodies in order to get the results. And I know a lot of it, I know for me, I can look at Autumn or Jericho or, Shalene or any of these trainers and be like, gosh, why can't I look like that? Well, I don't work out as much as them. I haven't been doing it as long as them. Sagi was talking about, this is 27 years for him. He's been doing this every day. But B, I don't truly treat my body as well as they do. I don't make it the priority that they do. So I just thought that was really incredible. And then my biggest takeaway, one of the things that really hit me as Aubrey was sharing, Melissa McAllister talked about being proud to be a coach. And I can't tell you, some of you guys know my story. I went full-time into coaching September of last year. So here I am, a full-time coach. And you would think then, I'm excited. Like, I believe in this. And you would think when somebody asked me, what do you do? I'd be like, I am a beach body coach. I don't. I didn't. For a long time, I skirted around that. I was like, well, I'm kind of a health and fitness online coach, or I changed the subject, or for some reason I felt more validated by sharing that, oh, I'm a certified insanity instructor. I've never taught an insanity class. Yeah, I got certified, but that's not what I am. I am a Beachbody coach, and I have changed lives. And I'm now proud to say that. So that was a really big deal for me. I do also want to say, I remember when I first started watching the Tanya and Jesse go on the cruise 2 years ago. And I was like, wow, that's just amazing. That would be so amazing. I'd love to do that, but I can't do that. That's what they do. And around the same time, we had the opportunity to register for Cancun. And I was like, I'm not going to make it. I'm not really good at this. I can't do this. I had no belief. There's no way I can earn this trip. Cancun came around, and because I hadn't registered until way late, I didn't get the opportunity to go, but based on my Success Club points, I would have been short $150. I would have had to pay only $150 to go on that trip. It's pretty incredible. And I didn't go because I didn't believe. So you better believe it. This time I was on the wait list again, worked my tail off, and I got to go on this cruise. Here I am, left my job, and I'm doing this full time, and I'm now getting to travel more than I ever did. I got to add a trip to LA to this, and actually I'm still not home. I'm spending time in Portland, enjoying friends, and getting one-on-one support to survive the refresh right now actually is part of what I'm doing. Sometimes us coaches need real accountability, and it means locking me in the house with another coach so that we can support one another. Thank you, Erica. So that's just saying, sometimes we have drastic measures, but you guys, you have to believe in yourselves. And any of you, it costs nothing to get on the wait list. It costs nothing to get on the summit wait list. You guys, get on those wait lists, because you have to take those steps and you have to believe in yourself, and it's so worth it. So that's all. Are there any questions before we? Good job, Donica. You should be. You'll get off. I'm still on the Dominican Republic wait list, but I have no doubts I'll be off that list, and I will be in DR next year. So excited. Any other questions before we wrap up? Cool. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Aubrey, thank you for sharing. And have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous night.